Man, the last few years, if there was a competition for being the most interested in players without actually signing them in the end or trading for them in the end, the Red Sox would unequivocally be the champs. I mean, we're talking prime MJ numbers with how many players the Red Sox were runners up on to add, basically. So much so to the point that whenever the team is reported to be interested in a player now, Red Sox Nation just finds it to be a joke, honestly. And you can't blame any single one of them. But Craig Breslow, the new general manager who's only been there about a year now, finally broke this trend, and it fittingly comes just hours after Red Sox fans honestly believed this was going to turn out as yet another offseason with nothing to show for it to improve the roster. Max Fried, a guy the Red Sox had been linked to, signed with the Yankees, and everybody started freaking out. But little did we all know at the time, while the baseball world and Red Sox Nation in particular was freaking the hell out, Craig was in the kitchen chefing it up in a way Gordon Ramsay can only dream of. Really quick, if you're part of the 59% of viewers not subscribed yet, go ahead and hit that button if you enjoy the videos, as the Red Sox struck a deal with the other Sox for Garrett, Crochet in a trade I think is perfectly good for both sides. The Red Sox gave up 4 prospects, but only one of them was a top prospect. It was definitely a promising one, Kyle Teal, a catcher, but obviously if you were going to get someone like Crochet, it was always expected that you were going to have to give up at least one big piece. And I think doing it with Teal is easy enough to swallow, but it's also a very good package of players from a White Sox perspective. So I think overall from both sides, this is a very good trade. It satisfies all the necessary needs. The White Sox are rebuilding. They need some young guys, promising players, and they got that, while the Red Sox, they need a starter, and they got that too. Crochet is filthy. He really is. He's in every way so far in his career the second coming of Chris Sale. Maybe to a little bit lesser of an extent right now, obviously, but still. He's a left-handed pitcher who made it to the big leagues the same year he was drafted, like right after the fact, with the White Sox, started out in a bullpen role, and morphed into a starter. I mean, if you just said that, you would think I'm talking about Chris Sale. But starting, which is what Crochet did this last year, he has so much potential that he's already showed this past year. And also like Sale, he gets traded to Boston. And his first year as a big league starting pitcher, Crochet struck out the world. He punched out over 200 hitters in 146 innings, which is an average of about 13 per 9, which is also incredible for a starting pitcher, and another similarity to Chris Sale. He has as good of strikeout stuff as it gets for a starting pitcher. He throws hard. I mean, there's so much to love here. Now, when Fried signed with New York and Red Sox fans were freaking out, even though that's not necessarily the most ideal situation for Boston, that didn't necessarily mean they had to go out and sign Corbin Burnes, which would require an overpay, which I get it. That's what it takes to get a pitcher right now. But at that point, it seems like you're just giving someone a big contract just for the sake of giving someone a big contract, because that's what the fans want, and they haven't seen that in a while. Okay, but how does that actually truly help the team? Corbin Burnes is a great pitcher. He really is. But like Max Fried and the Yankees contract they gave him, there's some concerning things that go with that. For Burnes, it's the decline he's shown over the last few years. He's still been a very good pitcher, but has also seen a very significant decline in strikeouts and swing and miss. Every year, that part of his game has gotten worse in the last 3 years. He's 30 years old now. Max Fried just got 8 years. He's going to want at least 7. Again, Burnes is still good, but is he someone to trust on a big contract? Maybe for someone else. I just don't know if it's in the Red Sox's best interest to do that, even if they get flack for not doing it or not getting a big starting pitcher on the market like that, money-wise. Because again, I know overpaying is a necessary thing to do right now if you want a player, but it feels like Red Sox fans just want Burnes just so they can get someone. But if you really sit back and look at if that's the best thing to do for the team now and for the future, giving Burnes 7 or 8 years and God knows how much, is that smart? I don't know if it is, which is why getting Crochet is the best thing they could have done. I already talked about how good he is, but another valuable thing about him, he's 25 years old, and trading for him alone gets you having him for 2 years. But if the Red Sox decide to extend him, which I think they should, you're of course way more comfortable giving a 25-year-old Garrett Crochet a 5, 6, 7, 8-year contract rather than Fried or Burnes. He has better strikeout stuff than, forget just Fried and Burnes, but really any starter in baseball. He's 25, and they still have a lot of money to spend on players, including a right-handed bat, which is something the Red Sox also need. I mean, this is beyond the best case scenario to end up with if you're the Red Sox, and that seems pretty clear to me. I think they got the most promising pitcher on the market. Let me know your thoughts, and thank you for watching.